Hey guys, my name is Wiane and I'm part of the Revolution Church community, and I was just asked to share something encouraging with you today. So I just was reminded of the last season that I've been through in my life where I really thought I messed up so much, and I don't know if God will ever use any of my mistakes for good. So the first verse that I want to read to you is Romans chapter 8 verse 28. It says, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose." And I was going through a really rough time, kind of letting go of the mistakes that I have made, especially in the last 3 years of my life, and trying not to look back and all those things. And God just spoke to me one day and He told me to go read the story of Abraham. And as I read the story of Abraham, I was quite shocked. I have read it before, but it was just such a good reminder. You know, Abraham got this promise from God that he was going to be blessed with a son who would literally expand his generational line, and how eventually the Messiah would come from that line. And this promise, you know, God gave to Abraham, but it wasn't like until Abraham was really, really, really old until the promise came to fulfillment. So in between that time of waiting for the promise to be fulfilled, Abraham and Sarah, his wife, actually made a lot of mistakes. And some of the things, if I would tell them to you, you'd be like, whoa, that is bad. You know, how can God possibly promise something so precious to this guy who just keeps messing up? And God just reminded me that no matter how many times we fail Him, no matter how many times we think we have it all together, or we think we know His plan for us, He still redeems it, and He calls us into the purpose that He has for us. And you know, I'm just reminded that God actually doesn't see Abraham according to his mistakes. Actually, when you look at Hebrew 11, you know, this is known as the Great Faith chapter, and Abraham is actually mentioned in most in a big part of this chapter, when it says, by faith Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he was to receive as an inheritance, and he went out not knowing where he was going. And I could so relate with him in many ways. And yeah, so that's my encouraging word for you today, that no matter how many times you failed, ask God to show you how He sees you. Ask Him to show you what is His calling on your life. For Abraham, he was ultimately known as a great man of faith who received a promise from God. And may that be something that we hold on to, that God does never label us and our identity with our failures. He always calls us to our true potential. So much love to you guys. May that encourage you today, and know that you are never ever too far out of God's reach.